Best league out with his team.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Play it out. The winner gets $5,000. No entry fee though. The $5,000 is of your money. You just get. So if you win,
pretty good league to be in.
if you you like that, right?
Yeah,
You like that.
yeah.
You with that?
3-to-1 vote.
If you win, you gotta pay nothing.
I feel like there's a
Pride.
here.
You get pride.
I feel like this is a bad deal for me. I'm not sure exactly where. Maybe Applebee's will put up the 5K. We love our friends at Applebee's. $5,000 worth of riblets. How about that?
Yeah.
That
Wow.
would be really eating good in the neighborhood.
Oh, boy.
Fantasy Football Happy Hour with Matthew Berry, served by Applebee's.
Welcome to the Fantasy Football Happy Hour. I'm Connor Rogers alongside the money man, Matthew Berry, and Jay Croucher. $5,000 contest. I've heard rumors there could be something in the works.
Who are these rumors from? Are they
I
from
got
Lawrence?
giveaway sources.
Are they,
Yes.
Are these rumors from Lawrence? Lawrence telling you right after the show. Well, listen.
Did you sleep on it?
Yeah, I thought about it. And I talked to my wife. I said, "Honey, I got a great idea. Could we take $5,000 of our money, and then we could just donate it to this league? And the best thing that could happen is I get it back. There's no interest. Nothing at all.
You actually would somehow still lose. This is from John Supowitz.
Yeah.
Remember Win Ben Stein's money?
Yes.
Will Matthew Berry's money?
I think that's not Ben Stein from the game show Win Ben Stein's Money. That is a clip, I want to say, from Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. There you go. Look at that. Look at me.
So instead of Win Ben Stein's money, win Matthew Berry's
Win Matthew Berry's money.
But the plot twist is Matthew Berry has a chance to win his own money.
That's very exciting.
Which is a pretty sweet deal for you.
Yeah, it's really, I hadn't thought about it that way.
Yes.
It's like a charitable donation to a really worthy cause, except you have the chance to get back the charitable donation, which you rarely do when you donate to a charity.
You guys only, if you're going to do this, why not ask for more than $5,000? Like, ask for real money.
No. That's a fine. It's a good amount. I don't think there was enough commentary yesterday on Lawrence's new look for the season. Every other appearance on the show, he's been wearing an Oakland Athletics hat or an LA Dodgers hat or an Atlanta Braves hat. I had no idea he had hair or a scalp or these types of things. Wearing a FootJoy polo. Very big year coming up for Lawrence.
Yeah, we'll see.
New makeover.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Well, by the way, and when he wins the $5,000, just imagine the kind of wardrobe he'll get.
Exactly right.
He'll get 365 days worth of Oakland A's hats.
Yeah.
All right, Atlanta Braves hats.
He would spend it that way. We got a busy day. We're going to go through all of Berry's wide receiver tiers, but before we do, we will open the show with our player news of the day. One that could have been very scary.
Our Roto-World player news.
Roto-World player news.
You gotta brand it.
You want me to beef it up?
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, be a company man.
I'm working on it.
Rotoworld.com, NBCSports.com, free
graphic.
fantasy player news.
I've only worked with you for a year, so I'm still working on my company man aspect.
I'm just saying, like, if you want somebody to pony up the 5K, that's what you're doing is you say, hey, Roto World, hey, hey, Darren, hey, why don't you dip into that marketing budget? Why don't you throw some love our way? And
come on, Darren.
Maybe it's the Roto World Fantasy Football Draft.
We have a sponsor.
Roto World League, right? Maybe it's the Applebee's League. You know what I mean? You got to think like, hey, Applebee's. Like, we already give you some love. We love you. The show is served by Applebee's. But, hey, would you like a little bit more love?
I'm a big fan of these new kind of ability to claw back your own money from a donation.
Yeah.
This is new. Like, if it's Applebee's, there should be an Applebee's representative who has a chance to win back the money for Applebee's.
What if we do a GoFundMe?
Yeah,
let's see if maybe the fans would like to donate the $5,000.
Hugely.
I'm sure they couldn't think of something they'd rather do.
Important cause.
Look, in all
Fantasy
seriousness,
Life
I know
contest.
you think we could do a Fantasy Life contest, fantasylife.com. I'll talk to my investors. I'll be like, hey, I know you just invested a bunch of money in us. Can we take $5,000 of that for this dumb league? That was a mock draft.
Please, Joe Burrow, fund our league.
Yeah, exactly, right. But the other thing I would say here is that you never know, right? You never know what could happen. I'm just saying, there's marketing budgets out there, right? That kind of stuff. Like, there's other people. Those people are like, right. All right. Our producer Steven, who has no chance at the $5,000, is asking us to move along.
So Amon-Ra St. Brown sustained a leg injury during Wednesday's practice. Received treatment from trainers after hurting his lower right leg on the first snap of 7-on-7 drills. Dan Campbell said he expects to get Amon-Ra St. Brown back sometime next week. So good news on this front. The ride or die season is saved right now. Dan Campbell also said the Lions could be looking into the wide receiver market to add a body there because Jameson Williams, who suspended the first 6 games, he also left practice on Wednesday after grabbing his hamstring.
Yeah, that's a tweet from Tim Twentyman, who covers the team, does a really great job. Remember, Lions training staff drinks free today because, let's be clear, that's my fantasy ride or die.
Yes.
Like, to have my fantasy ride or die go down a week after you announce them is not good.
What's the
it's
protocol?
It's bad for the brand.
What's the protocol? If the ride or die dies before week 1 of the season,
do you get a redo?
Is there a protocol? Is there a handbook? What do you do?
I don't think you can get a redo. I mean, that's the whole point, is you're riding or you're dying.
Yeah.
I think you still have to draft him.
Do we play the Hall of Fame game again and get you out to Canton? To announce that,
segment, we'll call Sims.
Justin Herbert's your new ride or die?
I would have to have a ruling on that, but I don't think I get another shot at it. I mean, that's the
die.
whole point of a
It's
ride or
over.
die, is that you're all in on that one player. But the fact of the matter is right, so Jameson Williams, a little banged up as well, but Amon-Ra St back. They were busy, the Lions training staff yesterday, saving my fantasy ride or die. So anyway, Lions training staff drinks free today at the happy hour. We love the Lions training staff here. This Jameson Williamson thing is a little bit more interesting to me, guys, because so Campbell said in that tweet from Tim Twentyman that Williams could miss the rest of the preseason. We already know he's going to miss the first 6 games of the year. So now you've got a guy who played, I don't know what it was, less than 20 snaps a game last year.
not much
Very
action.
little, just basically go routes. They just put him in for a very limited package. And now, so you've got a raw player who last year was coming off of a major injury. So he didn't even really, when he was playing, it wasn't until like the second half of the year, and he was playing limited snaps. Now he's going to miss the rest of training camp. He's going to miss the first 6 games of the season. Like, Connor, we love the talent of this kid, and the potential and the idea of him, but also, like, that's tough.
We're inching near scary hours with Jameson Williams' development is what it is. I mean, they traded a lot to go up and get him. Let's not forget that. This was the speed element of their offense, and the fact is...
And a prospect you loved coming out of college, I assume.
Really did like him a lot. And when you look at it, too, I mean, this is someone that he transferred from Ohio State because he couldn't get on the field at Ohio State. And listen, there's a lot of wide receiver talent there. So he played 1 big year at Alabama.
That's why I went to Syracuse. I could not get on the field at Ohio State.
That makes sense.
Turned
Or
out I couldn't get on the
Northwestern,
field.
too,
Or
apparently.
Northwestern.
Yeah.
I couldn't get in the classroom at Northwestern. I couldn't get on the field at Ohio State. I could get into the bars at Syracuse, and that's what ended up working out for me. So God bless.
So
Shout out to Fagans, wherever you are.
Shout out to Fagans.
Yeah, Fagans,
Jameson
44s,
Williams.
Chucks. Yeah.
He caught 1 pass last year, which you think back, because he did play 6 games, and you think, oh, Jameson Williams got involved in the offense. He caught 1 pass.
really
It was
wasn't,
a 41-yard
Yes.
touchdown, which is why I think we remember it. But there is a little bit, and I know he's got more pedigree than these guys, but there's a little bit of kind of Rashad Bateman, Kadarius Toney. Can you actually get out there on the field, Jameson?
Watch Marvin Jones have just a ridiculous year. Marvin Jones, who is not being drafted at all, but obviously, returning to Detroit is and I mean this in the best possible sense, is a professional wide receiver. Will run his routes, has probably lost his step. Josh Reynolds had some moments last year as well. Former Texas A&M Aggie, Giga Mags, Josh Reynolds. But I honestly, when you look at that list, and now Jameson Williams going to miss the first 6 games, he's going to miss some training camp, it's going to take some time, it makes me feel even better about my fantasy ride or die, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Is a 75% target share out of the question? I don't think it is.
No, I mean, seriously, it's looking that way. I think Marvin Jones might be the oldest receiver in the league right now. I'd have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure he's up there for the Jays.
He's definitely
all over.
And
he might be a factor on their offense.
Yeah. I don't know why you looked at me when you said oldest receiver in the league.
I held it too.
Connor, thank you very much.
Yeah.
You
The
held
oldest receiver in the league.
And you looked right at me, which is messed up.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of Josh Reynolds in our waiver wire shows throughout the season, because Reynolds is going to be a guy who's you can throw into your flex. He'll get you maybe 8-9 points with no upside. But yeah, it's a little bit of a concern with Jameson Williams, because he's obviously a huge part of the idea of their upside in the second half of the season.
I mean, Khalif Raymond is there, who's a smaller guy, but so he's not kind of an every down guy. But Raymond has had some moments. Denzel Mims.
The revival.
The revival.
Jets gave him away.
Right, I know. So maybe this could be the year of former Jets wide receivers. We got Elijah Moore in Cleveland, now Denzel Mims in Detroit.
That's right.
Maybe these young guys that the Jets had such high hopes for flourish in other.
We might dig out Jeremy
Curley
Curley
for
somewhere.
Denzel Mims in New York.
I mean, a lot of it was mental mistakes, penalties. Not really seemed like grasping the offense where they trusted it to put him out there. And honestly, he didn't separate at the next level. It's nice when you run a 4.3 at the combine. When that doesn't translate on the field, it's a problem. Didn't separate.
Sounds a lot like Barry at NBC.
I was just going to say,
separate mental mistakes.
Mental mistakes, no separation.
Can't hit
plenty of penalties. We throw the flags all the time.
Plenty of penalties. Haven't really taken that next step. There's a very good chance that about in 4 months I'm on Univision. Right? They trade me.
Wow,
Univision just getting
stressed. I don't think Univision will have you. But anyway.
That's an assumption.
Univision is owned by NBC Universal, right? Is it?
I believe so. Yeah,
I believe it is.
So.
Okay.
I believe it is.
So is that like going down to the minor leagues in baseball, or
I'm
no?
just for me because
For
I
you.
can't speak. They're like,
yes.
oh, it's Telemundo. Or it might be Telemundo. I apologize. I know that it was okay. It's owned Telemundo. I might be traded off the entire company. The fact of the matter is that I work better in a language that I don't speak. That's the point.
To trade you out of the English language.
Trade me out of the English language.
Yeah.
I'm much more palatable when you don't understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is the point?
Yep.
I think
good.
so.
I like it.
Yeah.
Telemundo, Barry.
Telemundo.
What kind of trade return will we get for that?
I don't know.
Send you on
But by the way, maybe it wouldn't be. But maybe it would be still Univision. Maybe it would be another network. Is my point? Because I don't know if you guys know this. This is a true story. That at some point, Al Michaels, the great Al Michaels, was actually traded from ESPN, Disney, I guess from Disney to NBC Universal to call the Sunday night games, and they got back the rights to Oswald the Rabbit, and it was like this, it was a fun little thing. But legitimately, Al Michaels was actually traded from Disney to NBC. So maybe there's a chance that NBC calls somebody up and says, listen, do you have like a box of old swag?
Yeah.
Like, some sweatshirts from 3 years ago. Yeah. We'll take that for Barry.
We'll take the box of old swag and a future 14th round pick for Matthew Barry.
Right. Or just sometimes you see those NBA contracts where they're just like, or even NFL contracts where they're like, look, we'll pay you to take this guy off of our hands. You know what I mean?
Salary dump.
A salary dump.
Yes, you are every bit of a salary dump.
Considerations. They could literally could say like,
Play
listen,
later.
Right, exactly. But by the way, don't be. What if it's Croucher? What if they say like, we will give you Jay Croucher, who's young, under contract for a long time, has a cap-friendly deal. Yeah. What if we give you Jay Croucher
money?
just to take on Barry's bloated, ridiculous contract that literally makes no sense at all with any economics.
Yeah, we got Timothy Mozgov over here.
Yeah.
Lakers trying to move his 4 for $70 deal or whatever.
Nick's legend, Jay Croucher.
That's right. That's exactly.
All right, we'll come with more trade packages after
Treylon
the
Burks.
That's a great poll.
Yeah.
In
more injury
I was trying to
news.
come up with another NBA player. But
Mozgov's a great callback. More injury news on the wide receiver front. MRI revealed a sprained LCL for Treylon Burks, who will be sidelined for a few weeks. Obviously, a scary moment for the Titans in camp when Burks went down, came back up, hobbling around. It sounds like, though, the worst-case scenario was avoided with Treylon Burks right now, and what's expected to be a very big year 2 for him.
Yeah, I mean, look, so, right, but it's a concern. So, right, because it's a concern for his overall fantasy value for a lot of reasons. I mean, first off, last year he started slow. Remember, of course, he also missed 6 games, the turf toe. He had the concussion as well. Finally came on down towards the end of last year, but we still expect a run-heavy offense in Tennessee. We still expect DeAndre Hopkins to be the leading target share guy on this team, that the passing offense will go through DeAndre Hopkins. And so now again, Treylon Burks, yes, it's the same offense and he's been there, but like he missed a lot of time last year. Now he's going to miss the rest of training camp. He's going to miss a few weeks as they adjust to this new offense, because even though it's the same playbook, guys, like an offense that has DeAndre Hopkins is really different than an offense that does not, especially for a team that didn't pass that much.
Yeah, I'm worried about the Titans in general. We've talked about it a little bit, but their offensive line situation might be the worst in the league. They'd lose Treylon Burks for a period of time. We'll see how long. And their season starts at Saints, home to Chargers, at Cleveland, home to Cincinnati. They're going to be underdogs in all 4 of those games, I would suspect. And then, I don't know, the Ryan Tannehill situation, it could go south for Tennessee.
I mean, it's really interesting. Obviously, they traded up to get Will Levis in the 2nd round. It's weird, though, right? Because they went to go out and get Hopkins. That's their way of saying, like, we're in for this year, right? I mean, you don't make the deal. Like, they're paying Hopkins real money.
Yep.
And so, but you're right. Like, you just listed that, like, would anybody be shocked if the Titans were 0-4? No. I mean, like, to your point, right, exactly. The Chargers are going to be really good. The Bengals are going to be really good. The Saints, that'll be a tough game. What was the 4th game that I missed?
So Saints, Chargers, Browns, Bengals. Yep.
Browns
no
are tough, too.
There's no layup there.
And that game's in Cleveland, right.
Myles Garrett against maybe the worst offensive line in the league. It's not ideal.
There's
It
no
is
layup in that.
hashtag not ideal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you certainly get nervous about this this Tennessee Titans offense for sure.
And I think coming off the Jamison Williams conversation, a little different, but still with Treylon Burks, this is a guy that coming out of Arkansas, his production was off of screen slants and go balls.
Yep.
So you knew there would be a bit of an adjustment period, but he's a physical freak. That's why you drafted him. Now you look at last year, he had the turf toe and the concussion, and now the sprained ACL. More time off the field is less time developing.
Yeah.
So for Treylon Burks individually in a run-heavy offense, it becomes a little frustrating. Absolutely.
I mean, I'm at wide receiver 45, and I'm probably too high on him. Like, I'm going to do a rankings update. I'm going to wait until this weekend's games and, adjust to that. So there'll be a new rankings update coming out on Monday. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBC Sports and RotoWorld.com. Just want to thank you so much for watching what you just watched, or at least being too lazy to click out of it after the, autoplay just kept it going. So either way, thank you so much for just letting it scroll by your screen. And now I'd like to ask you respectfully, okay? Respectfully, please subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel for the latest NFL news, fantasy headlines from RotoWorld, and betting analysis from NBC Sports Edge.